We're not allowed to raise the issue of whether or not we need a nuclear power station. Those things you weren't allowed to discuss. And now we know that the IPC is going to make its recommendation, and we're pretty sure it's going to recommend that the nuclear power station go ahead. But there are quite a few question marks over that. Not least of all is the money, because none of these private investors actually want to invest in nuclear power unless there's a way they're guaranteed a big return. And to do that, the government has to underwrite it, there has to be no insurance to pay, and somebody else will have to pick up the bill for the radioactive waste. Now, on Crispin's notes for today, he put Fukushima-Bridgewater. And the reason he put that was because you know that in Fukushima there was a near meltdown. That hasn't happened yet, thankfully, at the existing power station at Hinkley Point. But there is nothing about the technology which is being proposed for Hinkley C which rules out the possibility of an off-site emergency at Hinkley C. And if we look at Fukushima today, people can say, well, nobody died. Nobody got radioactive sickness and died at Fukushima. And that's true as far as we know, right then. And the reason is, they did everything they possibly could to avoid that. They had to evacuate thousands of people. They had to bring in all the specialists. They now are involved in a cleanup operation which is going to cost the Japanese economy £257 billion. 257 billion to clean it up if it goes wrong, and to contain it. And of course we don't actually know what the long-term cost to the health of those people will be. It won't be known until it emerges over the next 3 or 4 decades. But we do know that the villagers who've returned to the rural area around Fukushima are living with the shadow of nuclear illness hanging over them. They feel demoralized, they feel depressed, and every single thing which is grown within the radius of that power station, every pint of milk that comes from a cow, every cucumber from a greenhouse, every rabbit, every carrot, has to be treated as radioactive waste and taken away and dealt with. In other words, if there was an off-site emergency at the new Hinkley C power station, West Somerset farmers and growers would not be able to produce for many years to come, even if they were allowed home.
Hundreds of years.
Now, when I met Crispin recently, it was to the High Court, because as you know, some of us occupied a barn at Hinkley C development site in February. Thanks. Now, EDF took us to the High Court to get an injunction against us. They wanted to get an injunction against all protesters, which included Crispin and all of you. So Crispin came to the High Court and he fought that. And he fought it brilliantly. He was a very low-key man, he was a modest man. He wasn't self-aggrandizing, but he spoke absolutely clearly and with conviction, and the judge realized there was no way that he could forbid people's right to protest, but he had to evict us because EDF owned the land.